You have a moniker, the National Forest Serial Killer.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I prefer the Beast of Blood Mountain.
There's something inherently peaceful about a hike through the woods. The silence, the beauty, the isolation. But in the mid-2000s, a string of disappearances shattered that peace, from Georgia to North Carolina to Florida, when hikers started vanishing whilst out on trails in the nearby national parks, and behind it all was one man, Gary Michael Hilton, a drifter, a killer, and a predator who turned nature into his hunting ground. This is the chilling story of the National Forest Serial Killer.
Torture and kill people?
Yeah.
Hold on. Torture? I didn't torture anybody.
Kidnap people, chain them up in your car, beat them to death, you rape them. Most people would regard that as torture.
No. Where are we going with this?
Well, I think we're going to the mind of a psychopath.
A psychopath?
Devoid of empathy, mercy, or decency.
Narcissistic?
Psychotically so.
You're nuts.
Gary Hilton didn't look like a serial killer. Balding, skinny, with an old white van and a dog named Dandy, he blended into the background. Born in 1946, Hilton lived a troubled life, marked by instability, odd jobs, failed marriages, and drifting. He served in the military, worked as a roofer, and eventually became homeless. But behind his unassuming appearance was a deeply disturbed man. He had a criminal record, issues with mental health, and a violent temper. Over time, he grew isolated and would spend most of his time in national forests across the southeastern US. And that's where he stalked, attacked, abducted, and eventually murdered his victims. On January 1, 2008, 24-year-old Meredith Emerson went hiking with her dog Ella on Blood Mountain in Georgia. She was young, athletic, smart, a University of Georgia grad, and she knew the trail well. When she didn't return home, a massive search was launched.
No trace yet of a missing 24-year-old Gwinnett County woman.
We were there from sunup to sundown.
Meredith Emerson could do anything. If anybody can survive this, she can.
We haven't found anything here yet.
Hikers reported seeing her with an older man who had a dog. That man was Gary Hilton. Over the next few days, Hilton kept Meredith alive, attempting to get her bank information. She resisted, fighting back, and unbeknown to Hilton, Meredith was creating a trail by giving him the incorrect PIN number. Hilton was caught on ATM machines with a makeshift mask trying to access her accounts. This would eventually lead to his arrest. On January 4th, after holding Meredith captive for 4 days, Hilton bludgeoning her to death and decapitated her body to hide, in his own words, forensic evidence. He left her body in a remote wooded area and walked away like nothing happened. After Meredith's murder, police put out an appeal, releasing the profile of a man fitting Gary's description. Shortly after, they received a call putting Gary's name to the profile. A call from a gas station was then received.
The cab 911, what's the exact location?
I have this, the person of interest in that missing woman case is at this Chevron gas station. The van is here, the dog is the red dog, and I saw the man's face, and I've been watching the news, and I know it's him. He's throwing stuff in the dumpster here. I can go take him down if you want.
No, sir, stay right there.
Okay. He looks like he's finishing up. You guys gotta hurry. Here comes the cops.
Yeah. Police are there?
Yes. They got him.
As investigators dug deeper, they realized Meredith wasn't Hilton's only victim. In fact, there were others, dating back months. In October 2007, Cheryl Dunlap, a 46-year-old nurse, went missing in the Apalachicola National Forest in Florida. Her body was later found burnt. She had been decapitated and her hands cut off just like Meredith.
Come on, let's go. I'm going to train you to a tree. And I have a chain and a lock. And she grabs it and goes right down and to put it on herself. She was already used to the drill. And I kind of had a feeling that she was going to try to not click that lock. You know what I mean? Just pretend it was locked. And as soon as she was down there and with her back to me, I had my pistol in a fanny pack there, a little .22, and I pulled it out and shot her in the back of the head.
In December 2007, elderly couple John and Irene Bryant, avid hikers in their 80s, vanished while hiking in Pisgah National Forest in North Carolina. Irene's body was found bludgeoned. John's remains were later discovered. He had been shot in the head.
I was down to 1 Ritalin, 2 spoons of coffee, $2. I'd been living out of dumpsters from a picnic area for 2 weeks. I'd lost a ton of weight. I think I was probably about down to 140. And I just said, hey, this has got to stop. And I had to take someone. I'm going to stake out this trailhead, and the first person that shows up goes. I say to John Bryant, you know what? We're going to take your credit card and run it. And he said, I'll go to hell. And he just brushed right past me. And I deployed the baton and hit him on the back of his left knee. So the guy whirls around. He was a big guy, a big, strong man, just as fit as can be. He whirls around, he's carrying this trekking stick, this hiking stick that they love to carry. So he goes after me with that. So I just brushed it away and then whack, hit him on the side of the head, then pulled out a pepper, sprayed him in the face. He steps forward a few feet and goes down.
Where was Irene?
She was a few feet ahead of him. And then he does the craziest thing. I can't believe this. He said, Irene, I can't see. Hit him. Well, I just beaten him down. And he's a big guy, 6 foot plus. And now he's telling his wife to fight me. And bless her heart, Irene, she was all heart. You know, like on guard, you know? And pow, and stabs me in the chest. I go, ah. And I brush it to one side and whack, hit her with the expander. She goes down. Then I'm going to take him with me. Bryant never gets up, but he does another crazy thing. While he's sitting there, he pulls his wallet out and he takes his credit cards out and he throws them. Well, I put him in the van, locked him in the van, closed the door, and I went back over to her a few feet away. She knew what was coming, and she said, I'm not getting in the van. The police always tell you, don't get in the vehicle, you're as good as dead. And she says, I'm not getting in the van. I gave her my Dirty Harry voice. I said, you're not getting in the van. She said, no, and I immediately laid into her. I beat her, and her blood blew up and hit me in the eyes, and it turned my vision red. Oh, nasty, 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 nasty. I wanted to get him a little further away because there were some houses within earshot. But John tried to run from me, and he fell down an embankment, and he caught his arm between 2 trees and broke it right here. So I tried to get him up, and he couldn't get up like that. So, you know, I had the pistol in my pocket. I just shot him in the side of the head, through and through shot.
The killer's methods were brutal but deliberate. Isolate victims in remote forest areas, hold them captive, extract money from their accounts, and kill them, often violently, then move on. Each crime was spaced by hundreds of miles, making it hard to connect the dots, until it was too late. Hilton quickly pleaded guilty to Meredith Emerson's murder in Georgia. In exchange for leading authorities to her body, he avoided the death penalty and received life in prison. But Florida had other plans. For the murder of Cheryl Dunlap, Hilton was extradited and tried in Tallahassee. In 2011, a jury convicted him. The sentence? Death. Then came North Carolina, where he was charged with killing the Bryants. In 2012, he received another life sentence without parole. Today, Gary Hilton sits on death row at Union Correctional Institution in Florida.
I did it. By the end of the whole thing, my mind was just ragged, disordered. And yes, I did it. I did it. And I'll be glad to tell anyone I did.
Gary Hilton's confirmed murder spree lasted less than a year, but investigators believe he may have killed before, possibly many times. He had been living in forests for years, across multiple states, and had no real ties to anyone. Dozens of unsolved disappearances in national parks that fit his pattern. But with no confessions and little evidence, those cases remain cold. What are my final thoughts on this case? Gary Hilton is one of the rare types of serial killers, a nomadic predator hiding in plain sight. He turned serene hiking trails into crime scenes and preyed on people simply seeking peace. A sociopath, a psychopath, a cold-blooded, ruthless killer. If you're out hiking alone, please remember this. You're never truly alone, not in the woods. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and also, if you find these cases intriguing, please consider subscribing so I can bring you more cases like this. Until next time.